Browns preparing for their trip to New Orleans coming out of the bye week. Kevin Stefanski 3-1 out of bye weeks, by the way. So playing a 3-win New Orleans team, the Browns, of course, a 2-win team. And still, Jed Wills, the topic today, Mary Kay. Kevin Stefanski, first opportunity to address Jed Wills and his business decision comments.
Yes, he said that he did talk to Jed about this, and he believes that it was just a poor choice of words for Jed. He's not holding it against him. If it comes down to having to play Jed Wills, he's not going to keep him out of action just because of what he said. And also, he started DeJuan Jones against the Chargers, not because Jed made this business decision, but because he felt DeJuan was the best guy to start at left tackle in that game.
Yeah, Ashley, and this is something we kind of talked about. When you use that phrase business decision, it just takes all the comments, everything else you said to a whole nother level. And that's sort of what Kevin got at today, at least in trying to diffuse what Jed said on Monday.
Yeah, and I thought, honestly, walking away from that Kevin did do a good job of diffusing that. And obviously, this is something that could spiral, could become worse. And truthfully, I mean, I come away from that thinking we still don't necessarily know how this is going to play out for Jed's future, but I thought Kevin did what Kevin Stefanski does and really diffused a situation that had the potential to get a lot uglier based on how our Monday conversation went with Jed.
Yeah, that is the job of a head coach sometimes, and Kevin kind of learning that as he goes here. Now, Jameis Winston is going back to New Orleans. Now, after he, of course, was the #1 pick in Tampa, played there for 5 years, Tampa decided to switch gears and go get the greatest quarterback of all time. That left Jameis Winston, the odd man out. So he ended up in New Orleans, and Mary Kay, he talked about it today, and he's talked about it a little bit before, what it meant to be able to spend a little bit of time with Sean Payton as his head coach and with Drew Brees backing him up.
Well, it really seemed to work because in 2021, he went 5-2 for the New Orleans Saints. He had a bunch of touchdowns, 14 touchdowns. I think it was 3 or 4 interceptions. He really figured out how to not make the bad play there, and he was off to a great start. Then he suffered a torn ACL and a torn MCL. That season was wiped out. He came back the next year, and he started again, had a back fracture, same kind of issues, and then he was replaced by Andy Dalton, and that was it for him. But he has great memories of what he learned there with a great coach in Sean Payton and a great quarterback, Drew Brees, and he hopes to show some of that off in New Orleans on Sunday.
Yeah, and Ashley, as he was talking about that stuff, it kind of hit me. What if he would have had that opportunity when he came into the league to play for a guy like a Sean Payton and back up a Drew Brees and really learn from them? Because it did seem to help him after 5 years in Tampa and having to take a step back, be the backup for a little while, and of course get to kind of pick those guys' brains. And he talked a lot about film study and just a lot of the little things that he learned from Drew Brees, not even just on-field stuff.
Yeah, I do think it's a reminder for young quarterbacks, and in particular rookie quarterbacks, how important it is. And we talk about this all the time. It's not just about raw talent. If it was, evaluating quarterbacks in the NFL would be a lot easier. It's about the fit in the system, the fit with the coach. And I think Jameis there alluded to the fact he got this learning experience, particularly with not taking unnecessary risks there. That was really, it seems like, invaluable for him. It helped him improve on some things. Now you're still going to have the multi-interception games, which Cleveland fans remember from the Browns last time out. But it has been interesting to hear him talk about that, how he maybe rethought some things by working with them. And again, I think it just underscores how it's important for young quarterbacks to wind up in the right situation where they can learn and grow.
Now, we talked to Jordan Hicks today. He is coming back from an injury. He had an infection in his elbow. He had a rib injury, a triceps injury. He was banged up, and he was playing really good football before he was lost for a number of games. He did try to come back against Cincinnati, played that game with one arm, and then sat out again. But Mary Kay, this linebacking core has been decimated, and Jordan Hicks, who, Jim Schwartz was effusive in his praise about Hicks early in the season, getting him back is going to help that second level of the defense. And really, he's your green sticker guy. Everything you brought him here for, getting that back is going to be big.
Yes, he revealed to us that he checked himself into a hospital, and he remained there for 2 days after the Giants game with that infection in his elbow. That can be very, very scary, and I'm sure it was for him and for his family. He also broke a rib in that game, so he's gotten banged up this season. He really, of course, has wanted to be out there helping this football team, hasn't been able to do it. He also mentioned how tough it was to see JOK go down with his scary, scary neck injury. So they're grateful to have him back. He was off to a great start before he suffered the elbow and triceps injuries and all the other things he's gone through this season.
Yeah, and of course, Ashley, it just helps guys kind of fall back into place now. Mahmoud Diabate can kind of get into a more familiar role and also, kind of contribute more on special teams. It allows a guy like Devin Bush to kind of go back to being that special teamer. Just having Jordan Hicks back helps stabilize a position that just hasn't been very stable ever since he got hurt.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Him and Rodney McLeod are really the two Jim Schwartz guys on this defense. I think the Browns were lucky they were able to go out and get another one this offseason in Jordan Hicks after they lost Sione Takitaki and Anthony Walker in free agency. And I think Jordan Hicks, and I think Mary Kay said this too, he was the best tackler, I think, on this Browns defense in the early portion as the defense was getting gouged for yardage. You could tell how much they've missed him in these games he's been gone. I think he really, truly has that potential to be one of the best defenders out there when he's healthy and making tackles for this defense.
Okay, we'll have full coverage of everything that happened here in Berea as the Browns continue preparations for New Orleans. Maybe you can hear that crowd noise in the background as they're practicing while we record this video. We'll cover it all at cleveland.com/Browns.